Hi, thanks for joining me again for this video. Now, what if your child finishes the kinder curriculum, read, write, and listen that we've created, and you're ready for the next level? So I'm going to share with you a book that I'm using, and you can use it too. I'm going to share right away. And at the end, well, I'm going to divide this into two parts. First part is I'm going to share with you what's in the book. And the second part, I'm going to actually help you teach it. So this is something I got from my local Staples, and it's Spectrum Reading. And there's several different concepts of reading that are in this book. So you got to have your little Post-it notes. This is a great book to start your child in before they go into first grade, after they finish the kinder curriculum. Or if you want some review of first grade, you can go through these videos, stop them at any time. This is something that I would do in the summer with my kids in between years. So if they were a first grader going into second grade, I would let them look at a first grade book for review. And if they were a second grader going into third grade, I would get a second grade book for review. So this is where we would start. There's about 4 sections. One is cute little pictures with stories. And I always do the beginning sounds of the pictures with them. What usually works is 2 pages each per tutoring session. And my tutoring sessions last about 50 to 60 minutes. So what I want to show you is some reading and comprehension, which is next. Now, this builds a lot of emotional stability. That's what we're asking our teachers for the science of reading. Is it emotionally sound? So I'm going to say this is second. Alrighty. So there's a short little cute story, and you could put your child's name in there, and then some questions. Then I really like this because there's some comprehension about the states, and it starts with Alaska. So your child's going to learn some history. Get another little tab here for 3. And comprehension. So I just do one of those each. And then I end it with words to know. So I'm going to put this as 4. I'll just do another yellow. So this is 4. So I have my one was yellow. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then go ahead and put 1 on your answer key. Because sometimes they put pictures that you might not really be sure what the picture is. So I'm going to just make this number 5. All right. If you need to refer to the answer key, it's there. So this is the Spectrum Reading. There could be other books at Staples or any teacher supply store, but look through it. And I want to focus on reading. That's why I'm doing reading. If you need something that has a little bit of math in it, you can get that one. So now, if you review this video, you can rush through this time and go right to this lesson, because now I'm going to teach how to use this. So if your child was watching this, I would go like this. So here we have a picture of a duck with an egg that looks like it's vibrating there. What is that sound? Quack. Something is saying quack, quack. Look at his little leg. That's a funny looking foot. Out pops a little baby duck. Hey, It's a little duck. If you want to read the little questions with your child, you can. I don't necessarily. Then we have beautiful beginnings. That's a nice positive way to look at it, isn't it? Beginning sounds. So we're going to get our jumbo crayons and get it, they're not that expensive. You could get a nice sharp stack when they start getting soft. So if you don't know what this picture would be, because it's got a cap and it's got a glove and a mitt, it's actually a boy. So we say it's a boy. Boy starts with B, which is B. So we put our line in our circle. And the kids should remember how we learn the B. This is a ball. Ball begins with B, B. This is a nurse. Nurse begins with N, N. So we've already practiced all the 26 letters of the alphabet. So they should know how to write these letters now. This is a dog, D, D. Our C stroke with a line. Now, this is interesting. It's a duck on stairs, but we want to say duck. Duck is D, D. Make our C with a line. This is a spider web, but we say web. And my little picture cards, if you've ordered them, have a web. So that's W, W. Now on the bottom is a sequence of events. So here, somebody is opening a package of seeds. Here are flowers growing. Here is watering the seeds. So what happens first? We always need to open the seed pack. What happens second? We want to water our seeds. And third, what happens? We want to see the flowers growing. So we're going to do one more page. Now the mother duck is giving a little kiss, and we know that because of the heart. Mama duck kisses little duck on the head. Hello, little duck, she says. Are you hungry, little duck? Asks Mama duck. Little duck shakes his head up and down. Little duck is hungry. One of the questions is, what does it mean when you shake your head up and down? It means yes. So Mama duck gives, let me slide that up. Mama duck gives little duck some corn to eat. And here's a picture and here's a corn. Okay, good reading. And that's easy comprehension, those stories, right? So, more beginning sounds, beautiful beginning sounds. For, F, starts with F. And this is how we learn to make our F. Fork, F. This is how we learn to write our F. Spoon, Sp. Do you know it starts with S, but can you also do a P? Spoon. That would be amazing if you could do SP. This is a hoof, H, H. This is a hat, H, H again. This is a scarf, sk. If you only can do the S, that's fine. But if you want to learn, C says K for sk, scarf, that would be amazing. Here we have some sequencing again. We have a butterfly, we have a cocoon, and we have a caterpillar. Remember the caterpillar from the read, write, and listen? So we have caterpillar is first. Then some people like to do the two like that, and that's fine. It's not so confusing for dyslexic kids. Cocoon is where it stays in its own little house. God designed it this way so that the caterpillar turns into a butterfly and cracks open the cocoon, and you see a beautiful butterfly. That happens with butterflies and moths. So, a lot of moths, do they have little cocoons? But anyway, I digress. So this continues, and I do a little bit of that for every lesson. Then I jump to tab 2. Carolyn dreams of a pet. Carolyn looked around her room. There were animals everywhere. She had teddy bears from her grandma. She had stuffed animals from her aunt. She even had posters of puppies on the wall. But what Carolyn wanted was a real pet. She wanted a kitten or a puppy to love and play with. Here's a picture of her dog and all the toys on her bed. So here are the reading skills. This story is about Carolyn wanting a pet, Carolyn wanting a toy, or how Carolyn is sad. We're going to go that she wants a pet. So number 2, Carolyn has posters on the walls of, are they horses, puppies, or flowers? Puppies. The setting is where a story takes place. What is the setting for the story? Is it Caroline's kitchen, Caroline's living room, or Caroline's bedroom? It's her bedroom. So your child's going to put an X there. In the picture on page 50, how does Carolyn look? Does she look sad, happy, or bored? She looks kind of sad. So even though this up here said she was sad, that's not what the story's about. The story's about Carolyn wanting a pet. Sad is just a describing word of her face or of her attitude. So here's a little question. Do you think Caroline will get a real pet or more teddy bears? And how come? There's not a right answer or a wrong answer. Just ask your child what they think and why. So I do one of those every tutoring session. Then jump to the history stories. Alaska, or geography, I don't know what you want to call it. Alaska is the largest state in America. It is the coldest state. It is 2 times, I'm going to underline that, 2 times as big as Texas and home to bears and eagles. If you lived in Alaska, you might see a blue glacier shining in the sun. Maybe you would see a bear or a moose or even a pod of whales. I'm just going to underline those because I think those are very important facts of my story. Juneau is the capital of Alaska. Let's go ahead and annotate or mark what we think is important. It is named after Joe Juneau. He went to Alaska to search for gold. Gold in Alaska? Many people in Alaska like to make and eat special ice cream. They mix berries with snow and seal oil. I'm going to underline that. Berries, snow, and seal oil. In Hawaii, they have shave ice, which is berries, flavoring, and snow and ice cream under it, and sweetened condensed milk. Fun fact. Okay, so here are the comprehension questions, and they are called reading skills. So what might you see if you live in Alaska? Robins, moose, or lions? I love how they make it pretty easy, I think. Moose. Okay, they give a picture, and we didn't talk about robins and lions, so we're building confidence. Is Alaska is as big as Texas? Is it 2 times, 3 times, or 10 times? And here I underline 2 times. If you need extra help, you can just circle 2 times. What did Joe Juno search for in Alaska? Well, hopefully your memory is a little strong and you remember gold. Notice when you underline a word, it will help your memory, which really comes in handy when you're asked questions. You just have to know what words to underline, and that comes with practice. Which state is bigger, Alaska or Texas? We already said here, Alaska is 2 times bigger. Sometimes your answers are in the previous questions. What is the special ice cream in Alaska made from? Berries, cream, and seal oil? Well, we didn't talk about cream. Let's cross that out. Snow, seal oil, and fish? Yucky. Fish for ice cream? Nope. Berries, snow, and seal oil? Yes. So this is a strategy to cross out what you know is not right, and it helps you have confidence for the right answer. Thinking further, would you like to live in Alaska? Why or why not? What are a few words that describe Alaska? Remember our read, write, and listen? We talked about the Eskimo and how cold it was. Would you like to live in the cold? And here, Alaska is the 49th state of the United States. So this is beautiful. It goes to all different states. Next, what I do, I might go to tab 4. Wait, that was tab 3. Go to tab 4. Now, words kids should know. We're going to see the picture, say it, sound it out, and find the word that matches what we're spelling. Let me get a different color. Red is not a bad color, but I'm going to use blue. Duck. D-U-C-K. Duck. D-U-C-K. So we're learning C-K says K. Duck cannot end in G. It cannot end in D. It ends in C-K. Fish. F-I-Sh. 2 sounds for the ending. F-I-F-I-S-H. Little water. So this is grass. G-R-A-S. Grass. G-R-A-S-S. Remember we talked about our floss word? That's a floss word. Bowl. B-O-L. O-W says O, and this is our word B-O-W-L. That's a new way we spell long O. This is cold. K-O-L-D. Here's your L-D. Don't forget those 2 consonants at the end. Cold. This is water. Water. It wouldn't be wet because usually wet is raindrops, but this is water. She's watering her flowers. So 2 syllables. Here we have wa. You know what? Water. That's how we would separate it. But anyway, we're going to circle water because that's a camel word. Have you learned camel words? the consonant stays with the first short vowel. Here we have pond, put, or play. Water is a pond. We have p, a, n, d. 4 sounds, 4 letters. P-O-N-D. Foot, f, t. 3 sounds, but this is where o says We're recognizing the first letter, F, O-O-T. Now we have corn, k, or, n. This one, O-R says or. We have C-O-R-N. We're just introducing O-R says or. Next, we have hat, h-a-t. Very simple. Here's our h-a-t. Here we have road, r-o-d. 3 sounds, but 4 letters. We need the d, so we're learning that O-A says long O. O-W said O. O-A says O, road, R-O-A-D. Sun, S-A-N. Here's, we have to circle the word with the U for S-U-N. Here we have a pail, P-A-L. It only has 3 sounds, but we need the P and we need the L. So here we're introducing A-I says long A. A-I says A. Here we have a pillow, but that's not one of the word choices. The word choices are soft, set, or says. Soft is S-O-F-T. And you could tap it out. S-A-F-T. Every sound has its own letter. And the last one for this exercise is a sled. So we need the S-L-E-D. It's not a P. It's not a P here. Cross those out if you want. Here's our word, S-L-E-D. And if you want to scoop, sl, you could. That's your consonant team. So we have a few pages like that. Wonderful review. And that's it. Then you have your answer key. So that's it. I want to ask you to have a chart you could give your child, get some stickers. And the reason I put a heart here is after I'm done, I'm going to peel the chart away and there's going to be a nice circle of smiley faces. So I'm going to stop my share because I want to talk to you about something. I want to talk to you about other things I do when I'm using this book. This book is just 20 minutes of my lesson, but I want to start with music, and I have a music toy that I use with the kids, teaching them some songs and rhythms and rhymes. Then I teach some phonogram cards. So right now my students are learning the word families NG. There's ing, ang, ong, ung. Next week, they're going to learn the word family NK, ink, ank, onk, unk. And this is where I have my pictures. You can find them on Teachers Pay Teachers. I've got my pictures and I have my phonogram cards. So if you want a full lesson, maybe you have a tutoring service, or maybe you're doing homeschooling with other groups, you can order that online. So after I do that, I also warm up with some puzzles before I do the phonogram cards. So I have some puzzles. They've advanced to the 12-piece puzzles, to the 15-piece puzzles, to the 16-piece puzzles. And you can teach them how to find the corners how to find the middle pieces that we save for the end, but how to build the outside of the puzzle. So I warm up with those activities that are really fun. I also have a video on puzzles you can view. So then after I finish this book, then I'm going to read some stories. So I'm going to read, I pre-select books that have rhymes in them. Right now I'm reading some Dr. Seuss books. And if you want to get an easy chapter book, you can start reading little chapter books just to end the session with a little bit of reading. So I hope this has blessed you, and I hope it's been very helpful. Let's get ready for the rest of the school year. Please email me with your questions and let me know if you found a curriculum that you really like or a workbook that you really want to recommend. You can find me at stepbystepdyslexiasolutions.com. I also have a Facebook page with the same name. Look for me there. And we are 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization. Please like if you haven't already and subscribe. And if you'd like to make a donation, any amount is helpful. So thank you and God bless your day. Bye-bye now.